Hi there, Matt. Well, Arab leaders have issued a damning joint statement of condemnation against the Iranian regime after holding this emergency summit in the holy city of Mecca, which ran into the early hours of this morning. This group, which includes Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Egypt, Bahrain, Jordan, and others, have now called upon the international community to take strict measures to curb Iran's behaviour. Saudi Arabia's King Salman says it's the responsibility of the entire international community to do more. Here's part of what he said. Listen in.
We call on the international community to carry out its responsibilities towards the threats that the Iranian actions pose against security and peace, and to use all means to stop the regime from interfering in the internal affairs of neighbouring countries.
Not everyone agreed with the final communique to come out of the emergency summit. Iraq's leaders failed to sign on, saying that rising tensions in the region could lead to an all-out war. Listen in.
My brothers, in the midst of this tense time and the quick developments and the tense regional and international environment full of tension and threats, we are watching before our eyes the escalation of a regional and international crisis, which can turn into a war that will engulf us all. If the crisis is not managed well, then we will be faced with the danger of a regional and international confrontation, which will bring tragedy to all of our countries.
Arab leaders also jointly condemned the sabotage attack on Saudi ships off the coast of the UAE. We heard late yesterday from the US National Security Advisor John Bolton, who directly blamed Iran for those attacks. However, he stopped short of providing any evidence to support his claim. He now says that that evidence will be presented to the UN Security Council as soon as next week. We've also heard from the US Special Representative Brian Hook, who has suggested that the US will continue to ramp up its own pressure against Iran, essentially by deploying more military assets into the region. It also does seem like the US is firmly in line with a number of GCC members on this condemnation and crackdown on the Iranian regime. Let's get you some more analysis now on the state of play. I'm pleased to say that Ali Ahmedi joins us live now on the line from Tehran. He's an independent political analyst. Ali, how does this change the geopolitical situation in the region, and what's your take on the joint statement of condemnation that we've seen from Arab leaders today?
Well, Saudi Arabia's goal here was to include some anti-Iranian language in the Arab League communique. They were successful in doing that, but what effect it's going to have on real-world realities is kind of hard to say at this point. You have a lot of disunity among the Arab states on Iran and on how to approach Iran. You have a lot of economically weak countries that have a lot of business before the wealthy Saudi kingdom, as well as the Emiratis and the United States. So they'll show up to a conference like this. They will issue a statement in support of Saudi Arabia over the tanker issue without necessarily attributing it to Iran. They will not object to anti-Iranian statements being involved. But are they going to reorient their foreign policies in favor of Saudi Arabia's preferences? That seems unlikely. So some sort of grand Arab coalition against Iran is probably not in the cards.
Ali, how do you think the Iranians are going to respond to this joint statement? Is it likely that we'll hear anything from them anytime soon?
Well, you might hear a reaction from Tehran. They'll probably take issue with the language against them in this communique, but I don't think they see very much in here, just again because of the disunity among Arab countries. I think Iran is going to work bilaterally with countries like Qatar, which has improved its relationship with over the last couple of years, with Kuwait and Oman. It also has either a professional or a warm relationship. And it's going to try to move things along that way in terms of the Arab countries. Now, it has a lot of allies to support in the Near East region, in Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq. It's mainly focused right now on sanctions and on working with the Europeans as well as China and Russia to undermine U.S. sanctions against it.